Hello and welcome to This Week on CITE. I'm Alice, your AI presenter, and I'm with my co-host, Zenzele Ndebele. We'll bring you the headlines that matter and look at the stories that were trending this week.
Yes, it's a Friday and it's December. It's been a challenging year, but also very eventful. So many things happened. Maybe the highlights is that our economy has not been doing well. Most of us are struggling. The inflation is going up. There's been a serious drought this year. A lot of people have lost their livestock. I know Emakala, Pabandba Kala, Agula Zulu. And sad as it is, we are still talking about a heat wave for the next 10 days. So that means Abandabali Mileo is limoza wazizakucha inkomo. They will continue to die well into the second week of December. Yeah, politically nothing much has happened. It's sad. It's like we're going 10 steps behind, years into post or pre-2000, because opposition yakhona la ikhanye kuningi nje izinto kwakhona kuningi. I mean kuyachayisa ngekhanda. But anyway, let's start the program looking at Mthuli's budget. Mthuli presented the national budget for 2025 last week, and it's a 2-point-something billion ZiG budget. I'm not an economist, so I would like Alice to just break it down for us, give us the highlights. Utwani ku budget le.
The 2025 national budget has allocated a total of 276.4 billion ZiG across various government ministries. Topping the list is the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, which received 46.6 billion ZiG, the highest allocation among all ministries. Ministry of Finance, Economic Development, and Investment Promotion with 32.4 billion ZiG. Ministry of Health and Child Care receiving 28.3 billion ZiG. Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development with 22.9 billion ZiG, and Defense, allocated 18 billion ZiG. Zimbabwe, as a signatory to several international and regional treaties on public spending, faces some key benchmarks to uphold. The Ministry of Health and Child Care's allocation of 28.3 billion ZiG represents 11.8% of the total budget. While this is a substantial figure, it falls short of the Abuja Declaration target of 15%. This gap could exacerbate the challenges facing an already strained health sector. For context, the Abuja Declaration, made in 2001, commits African Union member states to allocate at least 15% of their annual budgets to health. The Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water, and Rural Development received 9.5% of the budget. This allocation is close to, but still below, the Malabo Declaration benchmark of 10% needed to ensure sustainable agricultural growth. When combined, the budgets for the Ministries of Primary and Secondary Education and Higher and Tertiary Education total 56.96 billion ZiG, representing 23.6% of the national budget. This is above the Dakar Declaration target of 20% and aligns with the World Education Forum recommendation of allocating 15 to 20% of public expenditure to education. However, while these percentages appear promising, challenges persist. The World Bank, 2017, emphasizes that non-monetary factors, such as teacher availability, classroom infrastructure, and student-to-teacher ratios, are equally crucial in assessing the adequacy of funding for education. Also, let's not forget that Zimbabwe has debt of about $21 billion and budget does not give details on how the government intends to clear the debt.
Like I said earlier on that I'm not really an economist, but one thing that I can tell you, and that any other layman in Zimbabwe can tell you, is that the challenge with the Zimbabwean government or Zimbabwe situation is that government is raising revenue by taxing its citizens. Every budget that is presented, there is always a tax that is introduced. We now have sugar tax. We now have, in this budget, we had the gambling tax. We had the fast food tax. We have all these taxes, airtime tax, withdrawal tax, withdrawal imali zethu bank. We have a road fund. We have HIV levy. We always hear economists saying there is no government that takes its citizens to prosperity. What is clear is that there is no industry, there is no export that is happening. There are no workers that are paying taxes. Industries are closing, and at the end of the day, we will be taxed. Uzagcina sitaxwa ukuthi sihambe estreetini. Even ngaze ufake imengo ezi-2 egedini lakho mthuli will tax you. Next time it will be combis. We hear saloons also have to be taxed, and abantu abasemarket bona banemkamboza bona one day they'll be taxed because the government is looking for money. And it's said that things seem not to be coming the right direction. What makes the situation worse is the death of opposition, if I may say. In any normal country, opposition will be raising these issues. When the budget comes up for debate, they'll be challenging and actually getting some of these things not passed into law. But I don't see that happening because the opposition is lying. Ngeka Welshman, ngeka Chamisa, ngeka Timber, there is total confusion and there is total chaos. And what we can say, or what I can say, and I'm speaking on my behalf here, is that the MPs that are there, they're just probably there to get the cars, but really we won't see the vigorous, debates and arguments telling them to the budget lay is not pro-poor, is not really serving the interests of the people, but it's actually making life worse. Usually, budgets, a certain percentage of money is going to be tax-free. I don't think that is happening anymore because Mtuli wants every cent from us.
This week, during a full council meeting, something rather unusual caught my attention. 1 or 2 councillors seemed to be speaking as though they were playing to the ZANU-PF gallery. They suggested that council officials should stop criticizing the government on social media if they want to receive support from the state. So, what's really going on here? Is this a case of political posturing, or is there a deeper story behind these remarks? Unpack this for us.
Anyone? Councillor Moyo?
Mine is item 5.
Item 5.
On water augmentation projects. The report speaks about engaging various stakeholders to assist the city of Bulawayo. But we have got money that was promised by the government that we are going to be allocated money so that we fund water projects for the city of Bulawayo. I would like to implore my fellow policymakers that maybe at times we don't need to understand that we are a third tier of government as local authorities. It means, therefore, if we are going on Twitter, dissing government programs, dissing monetary policies for which are pronounced by the central government, it means we are shooting ourselves in the foot. How can we go with a begging bowl to a neighbor while we are insulting them but asking for a salt? Let's desist from attacking government on Twitter and make sure that we ask for the money that the government promised in good faith, so that the central government does not have any second thought on our sincerity as the city of Bulawayo. There is a call to action that was made by the President on the 1st of November 2023 that there should be no compromise to service delivery. So if you are to walk the path and work to engage with government, you are going to be assisted by the government, not president on Twitter. At the end of the day, the residents who are suffering. We need that money to make sure that all these projects are implemented. Because we have got a list of projects that have been drawn here, but there is no money to fund the projects. But at the same time, government have promised money, and we are dissing it on Twitter as policymakers. Let's desist from that and ask in good faith. Thank you, Josh.
I think the state of the council or the divisions that we see in council reflect the state of the national politics. There is a lot of divisions in Zimbabwean opposition. Unfortunately, even the ruling party also, kulabanya abati 2028, kulabanya abati 2030, kulabanya abati iti chete, kulabanya abati chiwenga chete. So we are a divided country at this point in time, and that is reflected in council. Talking to a number of councillors, there are so many issues that are being discussed. There's so many, infighting and talking. What happened in council this week was really quite strange in a way, because I'm not sure where those councillors were coming from and what they were trying to say and what they're trying to do. But that is a clear indication of an underlying problem. From talking to a number of them, we talk on a faction that is loyal to Chabangu, a faction that is loyal to Professor Welshman Ncube, a faction that is still loyal to Chamisa, and there's a faction, of course, there's a ZANU-PF, councillors as ZANU-PF, so they are loyal to their party. And there are people who are not loyal to anyone, but loyal to Abantu Bagobulawai. So decisions are not really happening the way they are supposed. Or there is no lack of unity when it comes to major projects. Bulawayo has been facing a serious water challenge. But the bickering that is around the issue of the water, in the Bagunga Kiwa, why are you starting with the glass block dam? You are giving money to private companies. Why are we giving God that tender? What is happening? Are we supporting him to make money? Why are we not drilling this? Why are we not doing that? Shows that there is somehow underlying problems. There are issues that people talk about in their private space, and there are third forces and fourth forces and fifth forces that are influencing the politics in council. And my only hope is that the councillors will need to close themselves in one room, find each other, and talk about the issues. Personally, ngizikhulumela mina njengoZenzele Ndebele, probably Melissa Itinjalo. I think I'm happy with the progress that David Coulthard has made or seems to be making. He has really, brought us the pride that we've always wanted. But I don't think that is the view that is shared by a lot of councillors that I've seen. I really urge Bulawayo councillors to work for the betterment of the city, to put the city first, to put development first. It's unfortunate that also we've had allegations of corruption here and there, and we don't know how those allegations are probably fueling what we're seeing in council. Maybe if you don't do this, you will go to jail. If you don't do this, we will arrest you. So I'm hoping that our councillors are not compromised and they're not doing all this, or they're not fighting just to save their skins, but they're doing everything in the interest of Bulawayo.
We can't end this program without me asking you this question. Is Nelson Chamisa planning to launch another political party? Earlier this week he tweeted, "I'm excited for the new to born or kick in, the past must pass away and die." Now it's happening.
Yeah, I think our program today is about the opposition and the many things that they're not doing right. It's quite sad. I mean, from 2000 up to maybe 2018 or 2022, I guess, or so, the opposition had done a lot of things. They've really made progress. They were really being felt. But what is happening now is quite sad. I saw the tweet as well, Alice, from Chamisa, and I'm not sure whether he's forming another party or is thinking of forming another party. But definitely he would have to do something if he wants to go into politics or stay into politics or come back into politics, whatever the situation is, before 2028. But all I can say is that I hope that when he launches his party now, it will be something that has structures, it's something that has a constitution, it's something that restores the dignity of the opposition. It's not something that, again, after, towards the election, I'm really hoping that the opposition would find their way, sit down in whatever form and whatever kind of animal they want to bring up with, but come up with an opposition that resembles opposition, that resembles or that looks like a democratic party that wants to replace the government that is there. We cannot be talking about democracy when the same people who are saying they want to install democracy or instill democracy and good governance, they don't show that in their movements. So we wait and see.
Only time will tell how things unfold, but one thing is certain: we will always be here to keep you updated. We would love to hear from you. Share your thoughts and let me know the topics you'd like us to discuss. You can reach out on Twitter or send a WhatsApp message to +2637731033262. Your input is always welcome.
We are on social media at CITE. You find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. We also have a website. Please visit our pages, share our content with friends and relatives. Yikho phela ukuthi message igcwale indawo yonke. My name is Zenzele Ndebele.
I'm Alice, the AI presenter. Let's make a date at the same time next week. Enjoy your weekend.